Coming at you from the Rye TV studio is the Rye Sports Report. Today we got a Rye High School winter update, a second interview with Coach Doug Tuttle, and to finish it off, a four-man pro sports discussion. Stay right there in your seats. You won't want to miss this. Welcome to the Rye Sports Report. I'm Matt Shaneberg.
And I'm Dylan Leahy. Let's get started.
Our girls basketball team has been having an incredible season here at Rye. After reaching the section final last year, the Garnets have continued their winning ways, spearheaded by the dynamic duo of Katie Pop and Maddie Eck. Pop and Eck are both averaging 15 points per game and adding strength and stability to the defense. So far, Rye has beaten powerhouse teams like Eastchester and has a 10-2 record. Their last league game is senior night on February 3rd against Harrison, which will propel them into the Section 1 playoffs. Keep a close eye on the Lady Garnets in the upcoming weeks, as a trip to the Westchester County Center is definitely a possibility.
On the hard court, Rye basketball has held up well against an absolutely brutal schedule. Head coach John Aguilar's team has proven itself against Class A's best, losing by a mere 1 or 2 baskets during 2/3 of their defeats. Sophomore Charlie Nagel has proven that he can handle the transition from JV to varsity, as he, as well as George Kirby, have become dangerous threats from beyond the arc. Big men Drew Bate, Mark Krogan, and Andrew Livingston have been attacking the glass and blocking shots left and right. Notable wins by the Garnets include victories over Putnam Valley, Eastchester, and Yonkers. Due to popular demand, we brought back to the studio the face of Rye basketball, JV coach Doug Tuttle, to tell us what to anticipate for the rest of the boys' season.
Coach, thanks for coming back for the second edition of the Tuttle Talk.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's get started. Now, our Rye basketball team is off to a 7-8 record. It's not perfect, but we've been playing our best basketball as of late. What do you think we've done well, and what do you think we need to do in terms of improving?
Well, Coach Aguilar's teams always play very hard, and I'm always impressed with that. And you guys are really well coached. You listen to Coach. You try to do everything that he has for the game plan. What I think you can work on is being a little tougher with the basketball. We throw the ball away a little too much, and we need to rebound better. We need to have 5 people rebounding at all times.
Agreed. Now, of course, the JV is the foundation of the varsity. And on the JV level, what do you think sophomores Zach Sandberg and Zhu Wei have done in terms of leadership? And what do you think the freshman class has done on the court so far?
Well, it's been an interesting experience for Zach and Zhu, because both of them didn't really play a lot last year, and then we are asking them to step up into a big leadership role. They've responded very well, both on and off the court. I've been very, very pleased with that. As far as the freshmen go, it's a big step coming up, because the speed of the game gets faster as you get into high school, and they've adjusted very well. We've lost a lot of close games, haven't got really blown out by anybody. So it's been a real good learning experience, and I'm hoping we get better from it.
Now, I take it you're an NBA fan, correct?
Yes.
Now, the Knicks and Celtics have been pretty terrible as of late. What do you think they can do to get back on track after being so terrible?
Well, I'm a big Celtic fan, as most of the kids know. So I'm pleased with where they are. They have a lot of draft choices, and they have a lot of flexibility with the cap now. And they have a plan for the future. So it may take a couple more years, but I'm optimistic. If I was a Knicks fan, I'd be very disappointed because, first of all, Phil Jackson, there's no guarantee he's going to get the players he wants. His first choice for coach he didn't get. He had to settle for his second. So you can't even guarantee his first choice for a free agent will be there. He's under a lot of pressure. They're not very good, except for Carmelo. They're not a very good team.
Do you think either team has the potential to turn it around soon?
It's going to take, well, the Knicks are going to have to, because they don't have a lot of draft choices. They can't wait for the future. The Celtics, you have to be a little bit more patient. They're stockpiling young players.
Okay. Now, you went to Florida State University, correct?
For graduate school.
Okay, and what do you think Jameis Winston can do on the NFL level, and what do you think Florida State's future is without him?
Well, Jameis is going to have to be in a strong situation with a good support group and a head coach who can inspire him and keep him focused all the time. If he doesn't, then it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because he's immature. The Florida State program in general is really pretty solid, but they're going to have to come up with a really solid quarterback. You can't compete at the high level without it.
Now, what do you think about the possibility of Jameis Winston going to the Jets?
That would be interesting because New York is very tempting for a young guy like him. If the new coach and the new general manager can deal with the situation and help him survive that environment, it'd be a great pick. You know, he was eligible to go to Stanford. It's not like he's a dummy or something. He's a really bright guy. He's just immature and he makes poor decisions. And a 22-year-old in New York City might make a lot of poor decisions.
Of course. All right, well, there it is. Thanks again, Coach.
Thanks, Mark, for having me.
Behind the leadership of senior captain Jackson Kligerman's 25-3 individual record, the wrestling squad has come out of the gate strong. The only junior on the team, Franklin Goldzer, has maintained a 500 average. Sophomore Miles Giordano has also found great success this season in his respective weight class with a 14-8 record. After divisionals, we are expecting quite a few qualifiers for sectionals in the next 2 weeks. These guys truly are the unsung heroes of Rye Winter Sports.
After a relatively slow start, Rye hockey is on fire, racking up wins against top-tier competition. 2 road trips up north to Canton and Glen Falls seem to have sprung the Garnets into top gear, as the Garnets are on a 6-game win streak. 3 juniors, Theo Breslin, Tommy O'Brien, and Rocco Macri, have proven to be valuable contributors, leading with over 10 points. In fact, Macri had a hat trick in just 1 period of play against Rye Country Day and acts as the team spark plug, delivering big hit after big hit. Senior captain and goaltender Nat Dean has maintained a save percentage of 94%. The Garnets have had some major wins, including one against a tough Fordham Prep team. As of now, they maintain a 7-6 record, but are focused on beating arch rival Pelham on February 11th. The team is hot right now, and there's no reason to think they can't make a deep playoff run. Stay tuned for our pro sports debate.
Welcome back to the Rye Sports Report. For the Pro Sports section today, we have the inaugural edition of The Sauna, where we debate hot topics in the world of professional and college sports. We got Mark Krogan, Dom Gorneri, Will Caldwell, and Dane Monahan. With that being said, the first question is, do you believe that Jim Harbaugh can take Michigan to a national championship level in his time there?
Well, I think you look at what he's done at San Francisco the last couple of years. He turned that program around like right away. I think that was really something special, and I think he did the exact same thing in Michigan in his time.
And even going back to his time at Stanford, that was a 1 to 2 win team every year for about 5 or 10 years. They were, with Luck and Gerhardt, they were a top 5 team 3 or 4 years after he got there. I think he's proven every place he's been, he can be a fantastic coach, offense and defense. He's one of the best.
I think people lose perspective on how good Michigan has been as a program in the last 10 years. I mean, 3 or 4 years ago, they were in the Sugar Bowl. It's not like this is a Stanford where they've only won 1 or 2 wins per year. If you look at some of the recruits lined up, Chris Clark, tight end, 5 stars. He's a big get for Michigan if they can pull him in. Also, Iman Marshall, a cornerback from LA, is a huge, huge must-win for Michigan. He's looking like he's leaning towards USC, but if Michigan can get him in, they'll have a great defensive back core.
Well, I think certainly in his time here, he can definitely bring home a national title. I don't think right away, though, at all. They don't have the talent yet, don't have some big SEC guys like Jalen Hurd, Josh Dobbs. They really can't compete with them. I mean, immediately no, but as long as he doesn't bolt back to the NFL too soon, I think, definitely he's a great coach.
I agree. You have to you have to give him time to bring in his recruits and his guys. If you just look at the most important position, the quarterback, Shane Morris is kind of a question mark. He had that one bowl game a couple years ago where he showed promise but nothing special. But I think Harbaugh has shown with guys like Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, he can turn around a quarterback in a matter of a season or two. I think once he gets his guys in, they should be back at the top, him and Urban Meyer controlling the Big Ten.
So you guys think he's worth a 6-year, $48 million contract that he'd received?
Oh, definitely, no doubt about it. I mean, he's an incredible coach. He turns around programs. All he does is win. He lives and breathes football. So
that famous quote that he has, Dan.
Right. I'm about to attack this day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
Yeah,
He's to him.
That's an awesome quote.
He has been spotted drinking, pouring Gatorade into his cereal. Guys, he's just an animal.
Man,
He-
lives and breathes
No,
football.
he's a true winner. All right, next question. Can the Chicago Cubs win a World Series in the next 5 years? They're in the NL Central with the Cardinals, Pirates, Brewers. It's a really tough division, but they got with offseason signings, John Lester, David Ross, and new manager Joe Madden. The title doesn't seem so far away.
I think 5 years is like the perfect timetable to see a team like the Cubs make a World Series run. You got guys like Javi Baez, Addison Russell, and Chris Bryant, who are all probably top 10 prospects in the MLB right now. And then couple that with a couple of All-Stars, I think they could really make a run as those young guys develop.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of young talent on the Cubs, but it's just such. I think it's a stretch to say they're going to win the next 5 years. As Matt said, they play in one of the toughest divisions in baseball. It's tough to turn around such a not losing franchise, but I mean they've been down on their luck. It's hard to turn around.
That's a
in
good
just
point.
5 years.
But with the great job that GM Theo Epstein has done, bringing in like this young talent and then signing a couple of big name guys, I think, as I said before, with their development, anything's possible.
I mean, you look at the Cubs for the last couple, I don't know how long, but they've
100
been
100 years,
years,
100
basically.
years.
I mean, they've just been really just terrible. And I mean, you want to see the Cubs win. You want it for their fans and for that city.
Definitely do.
But
Definitely.
I mean,
Be
you
cool.
just gotta hope. I mean, 5 years is not that much time.
I mean, if there's a guy to turn around, it's going to be John Lester.
Yeah,
Very surprising
ace.
to see him leave the Red Sox, but that could be the guy.
I agree.
As you said, pitching has been their biggest problem. They let up way too many runs. Last question. Who will win the MVP award in the NBA? Steph Curry has had an incredible season draining threes with Klay Thompson, but Anthony Davis and sharpshooter James Harden aren't very far behind.
For me, it's got to be Steph. I mean, Golden State has been awesome, and the Splash Brothers have just been off the charts.
fun to watch.
Clay dropping 37 in one quarter. Steph is absolutely just money from beyond the arc. What he's done is just awesome. It's like Reggie Miller. It's awesome.
Well, I think you have to respect Steph's game and what they've done. I look at a guy like James Harden in Houston, has done it a lot without his wingman, Dwight Howard,
no defense.
who's been actually, he's become a lot better, and he's at least trying this year on defense.
Better, but still
Not
below
MVP. I don't know
average.
about MVP level defense.
I think
I think that's fair to say, but look what he does in offense. He creates the most the most free throws in the NBA and the most corner threes in the NBA. The corner three is the most valuable shot right now with how the pace and space offense that's pervading the NBA. Obviously, I can't take anything away from Steph or Davis or LeBron. I just feel like Harden has meant so much to his team right now in a tough Western Conference. I'll go James Harden.
I think it's got to be Anthony Davis. I'll disagree with both of you.
Okay.
He's one of the more complete players out there. He's
a good point.
a rock on defense, pretty good scorer on offense. He's basically carrying the Pelicans right now. So he's certainly, if you look at the definition, most valuable player. Harden and Curry have a good team backing them, where Davis is kind of carrying the team.
That's a good point, but it's hard to give the MVP, like in the NFL, it's hard to give to a guy like J.J. Watt, to a team that's winning like half their games, might not even make the playoffs. I think it's hard to give the MVP, the most valuable player, to a
How
guy that
valuable
might
are you
not
if you
even
can't
make the
even get
playoffs.
a team to win?
Like, I understand the roster around him isn't great. I think he's maybe 1 year away from really being that kind of elite MVP type caliber player.
Yeah, well, I've got to agree with Mark. Just the way he's playing, the way the Warriors have been doing. If they continue to win, I don't see any reason he doesn't win it. But you guys make good points with he's got a lot of weapons. So if you're looking at value to your team, a guy like Harden might be up there. But I mean, I think he's just playing too well not to win the MVP.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for your expert analysis. And that's all we got for you guys today on the Rise Sports Report. We'll see you in a month or so for the spring preview.